just give you a little bit of expectations during the setting or during the session. We will do a couple of breakout rooms. There's a couple of different exercises. There will be some script practice for about 30 minutes, and there will be a couple of 10-minute just breakout sessions as we move along. And it's an accountability piece in one of the sections. So I know they're asking us to ask for volunteers, but I think it's kind of interesting to be able to just kind of throw ourselves into these situations and practice and be accountable. You never know, you might make a new friend or someone that you can use as an accountability partner that you wouldn't expect. So just really grateful that everyone's here. We do want to respect your time. So we would, if anyone would like to share right now, it seems like everyone's been on this journey through Ignite, and I was just curious if anybody had anything that they're grateful for, if they'd like to share it with the group that they've acquired since they've been doing this, been participating in the Ignite series. And you could definitely unmute yourself. We do keep everyone muted during the session just for background noise sake. And if you can unmute yourself, you're welcome to speak and maybe offer some things that you're grateful for, that you've learned or taken from the previous sessions of Ignite. Anyone?
Hi, Roberta. It's Mark. Hey, I just want to share real quick. Something that I'm grateful for is the participation in our Ignite series over the past week and a half, 2 weeks. Really grateful for all the agents that are coming out and learning and hopefully taking action to help launch and build their careers. I'd love to hear your success stories of appointments made and transactions initiated during the series. So grateful that everyone's coming through and taking the time to build their business and learn the techniques presented at Ignite.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Mark. You can also add the opportunities that you see for yourself and what you're excited about. Anything that you would like to share during the that you've learned, and like Mark said, any opportunities that have kind of manifested from your participation in Ignite. If there's been any challenges or anything of that nature that you've encountered, anyone care to share anything at this point? Okay, so Philip is saying, I'm very new to the real estate industry. I've learned a lot during the series, and I'm grateful for all the help and assistance I have received. Yeah, that's one of the big reasons. I appreciate your comment, Philip. In Keller Williams, it's really such a nice, wonderful culture. I mean, we do share learning, and most everything is shared, and it's that's the main reason that I came to work with Keller Williams. So I'm very happy to hear that you're experiencing the same. Anyone else? I know it's early. It's 9. Have you had your coffee? Okay.
Hi, Roberta.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I just kind of wanted to second that. I know I brought this up before, but I'm really, really grateful for everyone who is taking 3 hours out of their time to come and teach us new agents and really share your experiences and your knowledge with us. It makes such a big difference in my mindset and my motivation, and it's also a daily reminder of how much support we have from everyone in our office and at KW. And I'm also grateful for technology, because if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be in Ignite right now.
Indeed. Yeah. Thanks, Melissa. That's very nice to hear. And just the third question that comes up is challenges that we're encountering. Definitely this whole COVID situation has presented a whole host of new challenges in our life, not to mention our business. So today we want to provide a realistic view of a successful agent's day And we want you to learn that real estate truly is a full-time job and that it is rewarding in a lot of ways. It's a very rewarding profession. So yeah, what successful agents do every day. Thanks, Mark, for changing the slide. You're very intuitive. I love it. Yeah, the goal of our time is to model what successful agents do every day and to show you how to do it. Successful agents, what they do, we can see on the slide, to grow their business, they lead generate for buyers and sellers. They make seller listing presentations and get listings. They make buyer presentations and get listings. They preview real estate. And now we know that's a little bit more difficult to do that just because of the PED forms and for COVID. But nonetheless, and despite all of that, it's still happening. So that's to grow your business. And to run your business, the list is 1 through 9. We market seller listings, we show buyer houses, we negotiate contracts and transaction management to closing. We do vendor management, we set goals and compliance with risk management and attend training and get coaching like you're doing today. And we manage our money. So yeah, we're bringing all this together and examining how a successful agent structures their day. We'll be using what we've learned and practiced so far about growing and running your business to revisit your 411. And Mark, did they do that before, or they've talked about it? I would assume that they have if they've gone through Ignite so far. So we'll also update our goals and develop an accountability system to achieve those goals. So the roadmap is going to be about 2 hours lecture, and then I believe Mark is going to do an hour of lead gen. So the roadmap for the day is to grow our business and run your business. We'll set weekly goals and daily objectives. We'll create accountability. We'll do a recap, and then we'll do daily success habits. So after this 1 hour, we'll do our daily success habits as we do every day, and we'll build our database, we'll do script practice, we'll lead gen a little bit, and then I'll contract practice, which is not, we're not gonna do contract practice today, but we'll do some script practice, and then we'll follow up with some lead prep from lead generation with Mark. I am trying to watch the chat as well. Yeah, I like this, this quote from F.M. Alexander: people don't decide their futures, they decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. I saw a really great quote yesterday's: we create the future that we want. So it's similar. We decide what our habits are going to be, and our habits actually will produce what we end up getting in return. Let me keep doing this. So in the book, The One Thing from Gary Keller, he quotes that Alexander. He's an educator, and he says that about cultivating success for ourselves. The goal of today is to develop the plan for how to use our time effectively and to fulfill the company mission, which is to build a career worth having, a business worth owning, a life worth living, and experiences worth giving, and a legacy worth leaving. So we'll start our habits now that will ultimately create the future that you want for yourself. And those, know that they takes about 56 days to create a habit. So we want to start those habits as soon as we can. So by the end of the module or this particular session, you'll have updated your 411, you'll time blocked your calendar, and developed an accountability plan with your accountability partner. And that is part of the breakout room that I was mentioning earlier, that you may find someone that you have not met before, and that may, be someone that you can use as an ally. Okay. So next we have an overview. What do you think a successful agent does every day? Does anyone want to guess or make mention? Unmute yourself when you feel. like you'd like to share?
Lead gen.
Lead gen, yeah. What else? Anybody else? What kind of activities do you think agents participate in every day? What's part of the lead gen, Melissa? You said lead gen. Anybody else want to share?
How about time block, Roberta? Time block to make sure you get done in the day everything you intend to get done.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. I really appreciate the time blocking piece because it does keep us on track and keep us accountable to ourselves. Successful agents make time every day for the activities that you've been doing during the daily success habits. Successful agents never stop lead generating and following up through the phone calls and social media messages, writing our handwritten notes, and then we split time between other grow the business activities and run the business activities. The timing for these activities depends on your needs and schedule, but it's important that you include both run the business and grow the business activities in your day. Grow the business activities include making seller listing presentations, making buyer presentations, and previewing real estate. Is anyone actively previewing real estate now since we have COVID? Anyone have any anything they'd like to share about previewing homes at the moment with COVID in place?
I know my fingers have gotten fast to go through those virtual tours, those 3D tours. I can get through a house in less than 45 seconds. Going through with my little mouse. Yeah, get to see everything.
Wow.
You can preview 20 homes in a day without the comfort of ever leaving your home, right?
Yeah.
The most important thing is learning the market, see what's selling for what, and what kind of amenities they have. You can do that these days. A lot of it online.
Nice. Anyone else?
Yeah, that's basically what I've been doing as well. Just a lot of just going through the MLS, looking at the properties there and playing with the stats. And I decided yesterday that I'm going to try and go do at least one in-person viewing a week. I'm keeping it cut down just because I'm a little nervous of COVID, and I might just focus on new construction or new builds right now. I don't know why, but I feel like that might be a little safer. But yeah, that's where I am at with viewing properties.
Yeah, I personally spend a good amount of time on the apps as well, looking at various properties and the virtual tours, getting pricing, like real-time pricing, or you can even call the listing agent if something is pending and you're curious as to the price and ask for those numbers. A lot of times they'll give them to you. Sometimes they won't, but it doesn't hurt to ask. You don't get unless you ask. So it's really important to maybe make those calls as well. So yeah, anybody else? Yeah, well, so we need to make sure that we're calendaring these things. Let me just get back to this is really
I wanted to ask something about this slide. As a new agent, I'm looking at the breakdown here and I really like it, but as a new agent, I feel like I spend a lot more time than 2 hours a day on the run your business activities. And I'm sure that will get easier and faster as I learn more. But right now I just don't feel like 2 hours is enough to really learn what I'm doing in the business, like the actual business part of it, not the lead gen part of it. And I do find that is cutting into my lead gen time.
Yeah, and there is a learning curve, right, Melissa? You will have some time that you'll be spending in the running the business activities until you get into that flow. So a lot of times with the 411, we'll get into that. If you're not able to finish it, then you just move it on to the next and keep chunking away at it as you go. But it's important to calendar it. You know, and it's these motivation building times. I think we were kind of got ahead of ourselves a little bit in that, like what we do at the beginning of our day, and to help motivate us. So some people do meditation, or some people get up and exercise. It really depends on sort of how you motivate yourself in the morning. It's really important to find something that really does keep you motivated, and then, or be very strict about sticking to your times when you're wanting to stop, to say, okay, I'm going to stop this and move on to your next one. You either fold it over into the next hour or the next week, but you'll still get them. You'll still continue to chunk away at it. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else have any motivating activities that they do at the beginning of their day?
Get up in the morning and exercise. Play some tennis.
Play some tennis.
Get
That's a good
moving.
one.
Get the blood flowing.
Mm-hmm.
It helps if it's something social. Go to the gym and make a friend.
Yeah. Nowadays, everyone, it seems like there's so many people out on the streets walking. I know I walk my dogs daily in the morning. They're not with me this morning, or they'd be all over me right now. But walking in the morning is helpful too. And I have been finding, since COVID actually we're locked down, I have actually become much more intimate with the neighborhood that I live in. And I have started identifying properties, meeting the neighbors. I just moved. When we shut down, I moved. The day we had the lockdown, I ended up having to move. And since then, I've been a very sort of consistent, steady, intimate relationship that's been building with this little neighborhood where I walk my dogs. People now see me and they know me. So it's really interesting how that has actually developed over the time that I've been here, and it's only been a few months. So yeah, Kenny, I like what you're saying too, as a positive affirmations. Yeah, and strong mindset in the morning. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do this. And Melissa, I know you have, I'm gonna speak to you because I know you have a lot of energy and you do it. Go ahead, did you wanna say something?
Oh no, I'm just, I meditate every morning. I actually meditate twice a day. Once when I first wake up, and then again at the afternoon slump. And that does help a lot.
Nice. That's good to know. Good to hear. Diana, did you want to say something? I saw your mute.
Oh yeah, I exercise every morning when I get up, like for an hour, and do follow the aerobic class online, and that really makes me get going.
Good. Are you a new agent, Diana?
Yes, I am.
Nice. So are you also calendaring your activities throughout the day?
I haven't started that yet, but I started to put the name list and then started contacting people. And yesterday I went to, with my kind of like mentor or whatever, went to someone's house, at least to look at their house that person is thinking of selling, trying to understand the business more.
Good, wonderful. Yeah, yeah, thanks for sharing. Would anybody else like to share what they do in the morning to be motivated?
Yeah, I'll share.
Sure, please.
Okay, you hear
Hi,
me?
Sheila. Yes, thanks.
I'm an experienced agent, but I've never joined a group. I'm an independent my whole life. But my day starts at about 5:45, and I walk for about 3 miles. Then I go to my meditation and my education, spiritual base. And then by 8:30, I'm ready to jump on to my day. And my day usually, until Keller Williams, I was always busy with activities related to real estate, but never lead generation, because I'm one of those secret agents. Nobody knows what I do. So the last couple of sessions have been very helpful in focusing on not being a secret agent and trying to build a database. So I'm really new at all of that stuff. It took me, I don't know, 20 minutes to figure out how to get on here without disclosing stuff. So my technology skills are weaker, but I'm a person who has 30+ years experience and knowledgeable, and have a real estate and an MLS license. So I know that Hilda's right. I'm ready to be very successful, but I just have been in hiding. And the fact is I'm 76 years old, so.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing and sharing your, your authenticity. I really appreciate that about your comments.
Yeah.
A lot of times agents won't admit to it, like, oh, I've been a secret agent. And it's really refreshing to hear someone say, yep, I haven't been doing this and I know I need to start doing it. So
I want to find out where that Ignite workbook is and do the activities. I mean, I don't have as much time as a lot of the young ones, but I know I can be successful.
Right. Yes. Really appreciate your
successful children. I'm a teacher by trainings. I've been successful with other people doing that, and I'm successful. I am a very successful person, but I want to learn new habits. Always learning.
Wonderful. Well, wonderful. Well, welcome and thanks for sharing.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm curious. I have a question for Shayla. Is it why it keep it a secret agent? I mean, that is something I'm curious.
Database. I don't touch my clients. I don't tell the people I know. I'm a broker. I really can do real estate. I don't. They know me as a teacher, and they know me as a personal counselor. They know me as a confidant. They know me as everything else, but what I do when I'm not helping everybody else, which is
okay. So you have other jobs
no,
as a main thing.
Jobs. No, these are not paying jobs. All these other jobs are who I am, and they turn into a successful life for me. I am a retired high school teacher, college instructor, but why am I doing real estate at this point in life? Because I know I have a lot of skill to help a lot of people, whether first-time buyers or investors. So that's why I'm doing it.
That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So turn your sphere into, a living for yourself. I'm sure it'll be extremely rewarding.
Yeah, it's not that I know where I have a roof. I'm very grateful. I'm blessed, but I still have a lot to give. And so that's why I'm involved and listening and learning.
Nice. Well, thanks for sharing again. Yeah. So it's interesting. I like everyone's shares about what they do and sort of the times that they get up in the morning. According to the slide, it says 8:30. Isn't that what it says? 8:30. And it seems like your all's days start much earlier. Mine starts earlier as well. I have children too, so I have to get them up and going and get up and on their Zoom calls now. But yeah, it's interesting to see. So it's really important that we use this time to run our business, back to what Melissa said, and to grow our business. So those groups that you're sitting with, or if you're doing meditation or going to the gym or meeting new people or walking for 3 miles, that's part of growing the business activity for yourself, because you're running into people, you're adding people to your database if you're running into friends, or you're working with people on the, in the gym or what have you. So it's really a great way to grow your business. So you can count that as also some, but it's also motivating and keeping you, on task for the day, and also feeding and nourishing and getting you going and keeping you going for the day for your business. So yeah, I just want to quickly go through some of the review of the run your business activities. Just quickly, it's like marketing seller listings, showing buyers houses, negotiating contracts, transaction management to closing, vendor management like stagers and photographers and various vendors that we manage for the listings and buyers, natural hazard disclosure companies and escrow companies, and also setting our goals, compliance and risk management. I think I read these earlier. So yeah, at the end of our days though, after we've done all of our run our business, we look ahead and time block for the next day, and based on our needs and what we get done that day, your schedule can shift. And it's very common, we can put something on our calendar, and just like today, I would stay on until 12, but I have to go to a listing appointment by 12. So I have to be off by 11 and prep for that in the half an hour or 45 minutes and then get to the listing appointment. So it will shift based on our client schedules and our needs and our listings or showings, our market center training. It's really important to put our big rocks. And does anybody know what big rocks are? Can I ask if anyone knows?
No, but I have a question. Do you physically go to someone's house to do a presentation, or do you do it by Zoom?
We did it by Zoom, but we are actually going out to look at the home at 12 today. So we have to go out and see the property.
Who is we?
Myself and the other agent. Because I'm a productivity coach and I'm going to accompany the other agent.
I see.
Yeah.
It was a co-op listing.
Correct. Yeah. So as you can see, they've got their, does anyone, I had asked the question about big rocks. Does anyone know what our big rocks are?
I learned it in bold, but if someone else wants to give it a shot, I know I brought it up last week.
Did you? Okay.
Things that stand in your way to success.
Yeah, like the most, yeah,
They're
absolutely.
not things that stand in your way.
Nothing.
They're your big ideas. They're your big must-have, must-do things. They're the things that you must achieve.
do. Yes. And they can feel like they're standing in our way, but they're the things that we must accomplish in order to continue to move forward.
They're the most important. They're your most important goals.
Mm-hmm.
We should call them big diamonds.
Oh, I like that.
Diamonds. Nice.
I like it. It's a rock. Diamonds are rocks.
Rock
They're
is
girl's best friend too.
Rock is simply though.
So there's another question. Why should we start our day with lead generation and follow-up?
It's
Is that our big rocks?
our lifeblood.
Okay.
It motivates us to go more and more. It moves us.
It moves us. Mm-hmm. Kenny is saying that they're money-making activities. Absolutely.
It's our 20%.
Right. Yeah, we'll get into our 20% in a little bit. Absolutely. They motivate us. Also, like I find that in the mornings, we're a lot fresher. We have more energy in the morning. We're not hitting our slump. So if we do our calls and our follow-up and our lead gen first, it's the most fresh way to do it. And it's done. And if it's one of the most important activities that we do. And Diana says, "You rock, Sheila." Just wanted to shout out to Sheila from Diane.
I like to help new agents, but I need help myself. I don't mind taking agents with me with what I know, but I definitely need help. So,
Okay.
I'm always learning.
Yeah. Lead generation is the core of any successful agent's business. So, Mark, can you?
If you think of your business like a car, what does a car need to move?
Fuel.
Mhm.
What does a car need to move?
Fuel.
You need gas. You need fuel. If you don't have any fuel, the car doesn't go anywhere. Lead generation is the fuel of your real estate business. It's what brings buyers. It's what brings sellers. If you don't have any buyer or seller appointments, you're out of gas. You need to fill the tank. And the way you fill the tank is lead generation. It's the only way.
It's the only way is lead gen.
So we start in the morning because that's when we're the freshest. That's when our mind is the sharpest. That's when we can make our intentions and have the greatest chances of successfully achieving those intentions. Your mind is sharper. You can overcome objections. You can remember to ask for the close more than one time. Not give up so easy.
I don't want to monopolize, but in the morning I see a lot of people, but I wave to them, they smile at me, but would I walk over to them and talk to them? Not a chance in heck. I don't know them. I don't know anything about them. I would feel uncomfortable saying, yeah, I walk and see people. I don't pass out my business card. I don't say who I am. I don't say good morning or I just walk. People,
You need an icebreaker, Sheila. You need an icebreaker.
Yeah.
What?
You need an icebreaker. Just something to break the ice so you can start your conversation when you're walking with people.
Yeah.
You can talk about the day, or you can talk about, it's awesome. What I like to do is I'm walking down the street and there's a for sale sign on the street somewhere, and you see someone walking down the street, you just talk about the for sale sign. Hey, what do you think about that house that just came on the market? You see that sign in the lawn? And then they'll start talking about the house, and then you'll start talking about the house, and then you'll start telling them everything you know.
Nice.
And then it leads to a lead generation moment. Hey, would you like to know how much that house sells for when it sells? I could give you a call and tell you. It's on my ticker. It pings me.
I have to go out in the day when people are out. I go out at
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's, oh, there are people out, but they're all running and walking. So I have to change my time for lead generation through walking.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have my dogs take me out every day, multiple times a day. So I see people in the morning, I see some people in the midday, I see people in the early evening sometimes, depending on what time I'm taking them out. And it's a great conversation starter. And there's a house right down here that went on for sale, went on the market, and the gentleman beside of it, it's just, he commented on my dogs, how are you doing? He met me. Another lady on another street, she did the same thing. It's like, oh, how long have you lived here? I just moved into the neighborhood. And it's really, maybe get a dog and take it for a walk and borrow somebody's dog.
No, I can talk without a dog.
Because it's your intentions, right? If your intentions are to meet, you have to have the intention.
Yeah.
But I'm out with an intention. My intention every day is to meet 10 new people. So what does that clarify to meet 10 new people? I need to get their name. I need to know their phone number. I need to know their email address so I can input them in a command and let the system do its magic, right? So when you're out, if you're out talking to people, you need to have a little elevator speech, and you have to have the intention to get their information, which means you have to have a quick icebreaker. You could talk about a property that's for sale in the neighborhood, right? And then you need an excuse to call them. You need an excuse to get their number. So you dangle information. Hey, do you want to be notified when this house sells? You know, and it's not going to work with everybody that you talk to, but if you don't say that to everybody that you talk to, you're not going to meet anybody. But if you say that to everybody that you talk to, maybe 1 out of 3 or 4 people will be super receptive and give you their contact information. That's the win.
Okay.
Yep. I love it, Mark. I love the intention. I meant to mention it earlier and forgot about it. Just like the activities that we do with the motivation. If we start our day with an intention, I'm going to add 10 people to my database. I'm going to talk to 10 different people, and I'm going to I'm going to incorporate that I'm a real estate agent in there somehow. That intention daily is, and then it becomes a habit. That's how you start creating habits.
Yeah.
Right? Perfect.
No more secrets.
That's right. No more secrets.
And then with the attentions, taking it one step further, you have your calendar, right? If you don't have, you see the activities, the 12:30 to 2:30, 2:30 to 4:30, all those run the business things. If you don't have any listings or buyers right now, then you need to make buyer and listing appointments. That's what goes in those times. So when you're lead generating, the intention is to fill the afternoon time slots with those appointments. So you know, okay, I can meet with a buyer at 1:30, I can meet with a buyer at 3 o'clock, and then I meet with a seller at 5 o'clock, all on Zoom. So let's fill those appointments. And that's the intention when you're making your lead generation calls, right? Who do you know that would benefit from my information? How can I get a hold of them? Get that person's information, and then, you know, get a hold of them and see if you can follow up. In the afternoon, the goal is to get appointments set. That's it.
I have another question, and maybe new people probably are not using, you know a lot of people who have good jobs in businesses, and they know you and they know your quality. Is it right to ask them? I mean, I never would think to, but I'm thinking they have a whole database of people that they know and who are people who respect them. And how do you ask them? I mean, I know their email because I deal with them on a friend basis. You know, how do I take it to the next step without feeling like I'm invading them? That's a lead generation, a big one. You know, if people work at Google or people work at, big companies, it's Twitter or whatever.
A lot of it, Sheila, you got to set your mindset, I think, too. You know, if your mindset is that you're bothering people, you're right, you are. If your mindset is that you're helping people, guess what? You're also right. You are. So if you come from the appropriate mindset, then it'll make it easier for you to make those approaches and get what you want from the situation, which is the appointment or their contact information to add to your database.
Okay.
But the mindset is you have to understand that you're bringing value to these people. Okay. There's a benefit from talking to you if you're a homeowner, a big benefit. So you have to realize that benefit as you're making those calls. It'll make it easier for you to make those calls. And
thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep interrupting.
No, please.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think everyone benefits from Sheila's interruptions.
Absolutely.
It's very, very, very intuitive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate it. Anyone else have anything to share before we move on?
Yeah, I do research and duplicate I learned from Wilson to do something to do with the food delivery. So I help my friend who is a homemaker, and then she makes some snacks, and I advertise her food to see if anybody wants to order. So I'll be the go-between who arrange the food delivery and also the order. So I have one family who is looking for investment property, and then I have one couple that's thinking of buying a place, a house next year, and right now they're living in the apartment, so they might need to sell that apartment. And then I have another person who is having issue with her HOA, so I'm just giving her help and then offering my assistance to research what she could do, and then if she needs to, whether it's better to sell her property right now and then cut the losses, or what will be the solution for her. And then through my through the people that I met, it's another expired listing that has two properties. One is a house and one is apartment. So she's thinking of either selling one or two. So those are the things that I discovered when I started working on my friends and my community, just for helping them first. And then when I deliver the food, I start asking them if, hey, what are you doing? And then, is anything I can help you? Do you need to refinance right now? The interest rate is low, so it will be good. Let me know if I can help you. That's it. That's all. And then they start talking about their property, about what they want to do, and then so that's how I started the conversation. I'm like Sheila. I'm introvert. I don't really know how to approach people. So I just go from the angle of food and service. So that's how I started. It's only been like a couple of weeks. So these are the results that I'm getting.
Nice. Thanks, Alice. That was great. So you are connecting with people by being a resource for them. We are actually great resources. We're supposed to be resources for our clients. You're providing something in addition to real estate, but also providing value in that you can help them in their real estate needs as well, not just as a facilitator of a different resource. That's one of the big things that we can be, is just the go-to resource person for our clients. It's one huge way to bring value to them. So yeah, that's a really nice and interesting way that you're actually really seeing results from it. It's fantastic. Yeah, great. So let me get back over here. So yeah, so let's now move on to discussing the habits that are foundational for growing our business. We're going to look at how successful agents incorporate the daily success habits and more into each day to achieve their goals. One of the ways they do this is by doing a 4-1-1. And I'm hoping that everyone who's in coaching has heard of a 4-1-1, at least maybe in Bold, they've heard of a 4-1-1 if you've been through Bold. A 4-1-1 every week to turn your goals into daily and weekly objectives. Do you have your 4-1-1 from the last class by chance? Anyone, everyone? Did you do one with the last one? Yes, no, maybe?
I don't know what a 4-1-1 is.
Okay.
I didn't take any class.
Okay. Has everyone been through this recent Ignite series? Sheila, you might be, is this the first one that you've taken?
This is my third, but I'm missing the first two.
Okay.
One I need.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so in the participant guide, and that is found on our intranet under the files section, and I absolutely forgot to mention that in the beginning, that's how you get the participant guide to follow along with this particular session. We can give everyone a moment to go there. We can, does everyone know how to find the files? So you're going to go to www in another window outside of Zoom to the kwscconnect.com, and that is our intranet, our website for our market center, and this is Silicon City's market center. I know Santa Clara has another one, and we have a files tab. Mark, have they been, Jacqueline said they've been driving everyone to that particular site. Has that been the case for all the other Ignite classes? Sorry,
Yes,
I was
yeah, we've been driving people through. I know that we've talked about 411s, but we didn't really have that session to really develop the 411s. Hopefully people were making them on their time.
Okay.
So, but we can discuss, we should discuss it again because
yeah.
it's important.
Can you just put the link in the chat, or I need to start putting it in? I couldn't copy fast enough. KW.
Sure. Just give me 1 second. I'll put it. So it's going to be specific. You'll have to log in. Sheila, do you have an account?
I don't know.
Are you with Santa Clara office, or are you with the Silicon City office?
Silicon City.
Okay, so this should work for you. And you should have a login. And I will share this in the chat. Oh, let me go back.
I can copy it.
All right, Sheila, I just wanted to ask, are you part of our office?
Yes, I'm on board. I'm getting on board.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead and just email me for now, because I know that the intranet is exclusive to the office until someone completely onboards and signs paperwork.
Is that Olivia?
Oh, this is Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Okay, I have to find your name and I'll find you.
So go ahead and just email me. I'll add my email. If you need anything, I can get that to you. Okay.
All right. You know my email. You can send it to me because I don't even know where to find you.
Okay. What exactly are you looking for?
Whatever they're asking us to look for. I don't know.
Roberta,
The participant guide. The participant guide. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a Google Doc link that has all of the Ignite materials.
Yeah, we're actually going to just continue that link soon. So I don't want to direct people.
Good to know.
But the intranet, everything is on there. So if you guys need to access anything, Roberta just added the link in the chat, kwscconnect.com. If you're from Santa Clara, then it'll be KWSCV. And then just log in through Google and just type in your KW email and you should be able to get on. And Sheila, I will reach out to you, okay?
Okay, I'll just copy this. Thank you.
No problem.
Sorry again. I know it's...
Yeah, that's okay. No, it's fine. We're here to support and make sure that you get what you need, Sheila. So in the 411, we can go through that. So these are weekly goals that you're going to put in to, I need to get the form up here myself so I can see it. So there's annual goals, there's weekly goals, and there's monthly goals, monthly and weekly goals. It's really small. So, and Mark, please help jump in here if you want to. And these are things that you're going to put in for your annual goals, your monthly goals, and your weekly goals. And you're going to put in your big rocks, like the most important thing you want to get done in the week. And again, and there's monthly goals. If monthly you want to send out, you want to get 2 listings a month, and that's your goal, you're going to write that on there. If you want to add 10 people to your database every day or every week, you're going to put that in there as well. And I can't see the bottom of that 411 on the screen, but I will go to the other side here.
Yeah, it just cuts off after the weekly goals.
It does, yeah.
But
and
guys,
this,
you start from the top and you work your way down. And you want to
Mhm.
make sure that everything is kind of in alignment, right? So if your goal is to make $400,000 a year, that's $100,000 a quarter, or about a little over $30,000 a month. That means that you're going to have to, like with the type of transaction numbers that we have, you're going to need between 2 and 3 transactions a month based on your opportunity or your ability to close. Maybe you close half the people you talk to. That means you're going to need 4 to 6 appointments every month. then you break that down to the week. So if I need 6 appointments a month, I need at least 1 to 2 a week.
Yeah.
You put that down on your weekly goals, and then everything you're going to do to fulfill those appointments so you can reach your income goals. And you do that for your income. You could do that for any personal goals. Maybe you have a weight loss goal. Maybe you have some other type of goals. Maybe you want to try something new activities, new hobbies, whatever. You put that all in there in your annual goals. And then you reflect on those annual goals to see how much, every month you're going to participate in that goal. And then you break that down to what you're going to do every week, and then time block every day to make sure you get it done.
Right. And those are like the legs. So it's kind of almost like a pyramid. Your annual goals, your monthly and your weekly and your daily should support the daily, should support the weekly is going to support the monthly is going to support the annual. And that's how you run into smaller doable pieces and like on your calendar. And that's where we start to talk about the 80-20 principle. We'll turn our weekly goals into a daily SMART objectives by applying that 80-20 principle. And that is the principle that Melissa mentioned that she heard and learned about through BOLD. And this is on, so we'll probably go into a breakout room in a minute, but let's go through this. I'll explain this 80-20 principle. And if anyone wants to go through the 411 at more length, because I think we're going to run out of time later on, they can certainly contact me. We can go through it. I will take my coaching folks through it again next week so that we can get them, show them if they don't know already. I wanted to, Mark, have you changed I'm not seeing the Zoom, but I'm just assuming you're changing it. Commit to the 80-20 principle. So 20%.
Are you seeing the 80-20 principle?
Yes.
Okay, good. Do you want me to go forward, back, or is this slide?
No, it's forward. It's the next one. Yeah, let me see. This is, I apologize, everyone. Oh, and let's go back one. Oh, I don't know where you are. Go back one. I'm sorry, that one. This is the 20% of our effort will give us 80% of our results. And it seems a little bit backwards. It seems like, oh, we should be doing 80% of whatever it is to get 20%. So the Pareto Principle or the 80-20 principle can help us prioritize and focus on what's important. So Wilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist, discovered that 20% of our activities yield 80% of our results. When our actions are not focused on the 20% that matters, we don't get the results that we want. The 80-20 principle seems, like I said earlier, a little counterintuitive, but it really does work. The converse of 80-20 principle is also true. 80% of our effort yields 20% of our results. So it's an interesting dynamic in that you can put 80% of your effort into something and really only generate 20% of the results. Stephen Covey also has an analogy of our time to a bucket. We can only fit so much in our bucket, but how we fill our bucket really does matter. If we start by filling the bucket with sand, we won't have room for the big rocks and gravel. But if we start with the big rocks first, and then we add the gravel and the sand, we'll fit in the space left over. Sand and gravel are the smallest things. They are the 80% of what it is that we want. Will only yield 20% of results in life. If we start with the big rocks, which is our 20%, the must-dos, the things we must do, then we will get those things done and still be able to fit in the gravel and the sand. And the image of the 80-20 principle we call the 20% our effort or our big rocks, the big things that we do first that we must will give us our 80% of what we want. So identifying your big rocks by looking at your weekly goals from this 411. And it's unfortunate, I was hoping that everyone would have the participant guide so they could kind of see it, maybe print it out. Normally this session is given in person and we would give you all one of these on paper, but now since we're in COVID, it's on page 5 of the participant guide.
I can pull it up and we can see it. I'll change the share here.
Okay.
Pull up the participant guide. It's going to be somewhere here.
I think I would normally, in this particular section, I would I would love to have gone into a breakout room, but I think because we're so few, I think it might just be more interesting and more beneficial to actually sort of hear the big rocks for some people and what the things that they must get done and what we think that we must do. Did you find it?
Too far.
There it is. Oh no, that's not it. Sorry, that's the bottom part of it.
That's page 5.
It's in the participant guide. This is the PowerPoint, Mark, that you're looking at. Oh no, that you are in the participant guide.
This is the participant
You
guide.
are. Yeah, that is. I see it.
Where can we get the, excuse me, where can we get this participant guide?
On the link that I put in the chat, the kwscconnect.com.
Okay, got it.
If you have an account, you log in there and go to the file share portion.
Okay.
And they're in there.
Sorry
The
about
Spark
that.
9. Mhm. Nice. Thanks, Linda.
What are some big rocks that make up your 20%, guys?
Yeah.
What makes up 20%? Do you guys understand the principle?
Yeah, that's a good first question.
Because it is a little counterintuitive, but let me explain a little bit. There's a bunch of things you can do every day, right? Every bunch of things. You can get dressed, you can comb your hair, you can take a shower, you can do the dishes, you can vacuum the floor, or you can call people, you can go on listing appointments, you can go on seller appointments, you can write contracts, you can organize your database, all these different things that you can that we do throughout our day. Now, the principle is that 20% of those things will yield 80% of the results that we're looking for at the end of the day. So does vacuuming the floor yield help your financial results? Does cleaning the dishes? No. Does organizing your calendar? Okay. But does making 10 phone calls to people that you know to share your business and ask for referrals? Right? The activities that we do that'll lead to business immediately. Going on a buyer appointment. That's going to lead to a contract and a sale, hopefully. Going on a listing appointment. That's going to lead to a listing and marketing opportunities and sales and money. Those things are your 20% of the activities that we do, but yet they yield most of the money that we make. So hopefully that kind of is understood. And the reverse is also true, right? Those 80% of those tasks that we do throughout the day, although they may need to get done by you or someone else, they still need to get done, right? But they only are going to yield a very small portion of your results at the end of the day. So the thing to think about is if you have only so many hours in the day, you want to focus your hours on those 20% and then spend a little time to focus on how you can offload the 80% to somebody else. That's the difference between the 20% that make all the deals and the 80% that don't.
Yeah. Does anybody else have ideas of what the big rocks might be, or what you think your big rocks are? And not stumbling blocks, but rocks, things that you need to get done, the activities.
Yeah, Mark, for me, I would say my daily command contacts.
Absolutely.
It's not like the sexiest thing to do, but just holds me accountable and keeps me organized.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Working those command contacts will get you transactions.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
I think for me, just making calls in general, just sitting down, blocking the time to make the calls to either my sphere or leads that I have, making calls.
Yeah, making calls. Good.
Hi, Roberta.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, so there's some things that are obviously big rocks, like lead gen and going on appointments, making those phone calls. But then I have things on my to-do list that I'm not sure if they fall into the 20% or if they're just considered really high-level 80%. And then, just trying to determine what falls into that category beyond the known basics of lead gen and appointments. For example, I want to learn command really well. And so I wanted to put on my daily to-do list to spend an hour a day working with command and watching training videos. But what I found is things like that, along with lead gen, was making my one day almost 2 days long, and then having trouble kind of, you know, plugging all those pieces in and knowing which ones I should spend more time on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, I'm sure for everyone learning command, that's of concern at this point. But if it's, and it is important to learn it. However, that is also part of sort of the larger picture. It's almost, it's not like doing dishes, but it's still the learning curve. Really, I think that would probably fall under the 80%, because that's in addition to this. It's not really money-making activities. It's learning the systems, and we need to learn the systems. I'm not discouraging anyone from learning the systems. You can fit that in somewhere, but I think it's important that probably falls under the 80%. 20% are your money-making activities, the lead gen, the talking, the setting appointments. That's the 20% that you want to focus on. Those would be the bigger rocks. And Mark, I'm happy to sort of, if you want to share something or some insights into that as well.
Yeah, I mean, as far as big rocks go, they're really non-negotiable things that you have to do every day.
Yeah. It's the gas, right? It's the gas, like you said earlier. It's the gas for your business.
If you have no gas, your car's not going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So you got to fill it, and you can. It's an effort-based activity. If you don't have the finances to farm or make the phone ring, you have the ability to pick up the phone and talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's 90% of what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. So your daily objective, we can maybe go into that next slide. The setting smart objectives. Does that answer your question, Melissa?
Yes, it does. What popped in my head using the car analogy is you can learn how to drive the car all you want, but if you're not putting fuel in it, it's not going to go anywhere.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. You can specialize in driving the car, but you have to put gas in it, right? It's not going to go. I love that analogy.
Mark mentioned something about if you don't have the money for farm, and that I know that people start out using farms in their geographic area or walk their farms or whatever they say they do to generate neighborhoods. But what is the cost, and is it expensive to create a farm, and does it work? And is it useful in the 21st century?
Yeah, I mean, farming, the basic principle of farming is marketing to a geographic or a demographic, right? So basically your farming is you're cultivating leads from a demographic or geographic area by marketing to them over a period of time. So you have to have the budget to be able to send marketing materials. The basic premise of farming is mail, postcards or letters. And in non-COVID times, right, we would supplement that with door knocking and leaving leaving handbills or flyers on the doorstep, which right now is not permitted. But you can definitely mail 5,000 postcards to your farm, or 300, or depends on what your budget is. And that's what the budget really comes from, the physical mailers, right? You're looking at producing a piece. It's going to cost some money to put it on a nice piece of paper. It's going to cost some money to put it in the mail and have the mailman deliver it for you. So if you're farming, let's say a 5,000 home development, I mean, we're talking at least $5,000 invested in the act of mailing, right?
$5,000 a month?
Depends. It could be 10,000 because you could be hitting them twice a month.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Are they successful?
So it's active and it's beneficial. It can't. Well, let me preface it this way. If you look at the production winners, basically from our company, and who the top teams are that are making the $200-300 million in sales a year, most of them are all heavy into farming. But it's a lead with revenue scenario. Farming it's viable, but you want to make sure that you have the revenue to be able to sustain that. So it may be overwhelming to say, oh man, I'm going to spend $10,000 a month on marketing, but it's only overwhelming because your systems aren't built and you're not bringing in $100,000 a month in income. Right. If you're bringing in $100,000 in income, then that's only 10%. If you're following MREA, you got to figure out a way to spend another 20 grand a month on marketing. So it's all relative, and you build up to it. It's not something that you want to jump into unless you have unless you're coming into the business with a large war chest of funds.
Yeah.
You can start with 200, just neighborhood, just local
You
neighborhood.
could start small, absolutely. Then the biggest win with farming is consistency. It's consistency. You have to be able to do it religiously for a period of time. If you're going to farm and you're only going to send, it doesn't matter the number of people. If you're only going to send it once, it's a disservice and a waste of money.
Okay.
If you only send it for 2 or 3 months, really, it's a disservice and a waste of money. You really need to plan a farm to be able to have the financials to be able to sustain that for at least 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Before then you start seeing the results come back.
Okay.
And again, I would say farming is a higher level activity. For agents, I would say you'd want to get a little more experience, because the chances of you going into a listing presentation and then having to compete against others is very high. So if you have your track record and you have experience and you have the ability to close strangers to list with you, then I would say, yes, start thinking about farming.
Okay.
But if you're starting your business and you're just getting comfortable with the dialogues, you're just getting comfortable with your scripts, and you're learning your best source of business is going to be your database, because you have to win only half with them, because your reputation already has some sway with those folks.
Mm-hmm.
And their intention is, because they love you and like you, they're more apt to want to help you.
Okay.
So your chances of success are far greater without being super smooth salesman person. But as your skills grow, then you want to start thinking about other systems to incorporate into your business to take it to another level. Farming is one of those systems.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, so does that answer everyone's questions for the moment? Perfect. So going back to the participant guide on page 6, and maybe you can put that the slide up, Mark, the set SMART objectives. The SMART is an acronym. They're using it to develop our daily objectives. So, farming can be part of that, addressing, what postcards you're going to send out. That can be part of that daily activity that will net you, 80%. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So we want our daily objectives to be SMART and to facilitate our success by using these SMART objectives. So specific means to be clearly define what you're going to do, and you can go back to that weekly and then daily, what am I going to do today? Be very specific, what is it that you're going to choose, and something that's measurable. If I'm going to put 10 people in my database, or I'm going to send out 20 handwritten notes, it's measurable, and then you can measure sort of the response and the return of what you get back from those particular activities. Achievable, they should be challenging, but should also match the time that we allot for completing it. So I'm going to speak to Melissa. Achievable goals, that's why I was saying sort of bring in set your hour. If that's the hour that you're going to allot for learning, then keep it at an hour. It's achievable. If you want to do, and say, okay, this is what I'm going to learn, and I'm going to do within this hour. Relevant, relevant is when we meet these relevant objectives, that they're achieved, they move us closer to our weekly, monthly, and annual goals. And then the timely is a commitment to a deadline that helps you focus your efforts on urgent tasks first. Mm-hmm. So, did somebody want to say something? Okay. Participants use, let's use your 411 to enter a SMART objective for each day. So you can put that as part of your 411 as well. So the next piece of this is our time blocking. And this is, again, we talked about this earlier about putting our big rocks on our calendar and making a commitment to preserving that time. We block those most important tasks first. So again, we're talking about our daily activities as an agent. We're blocking our times, we're putting our big rocks first. If it's lead gen first, and then follow up, and then maybe a newsletter edit, and then setting appointments in the afternoon. getting the calls in the morning, setting appointments for afternoon. And a lot of people sometimes will confuse time blocking with sort of just filling your calendar with whatever. I know in Bold, they have us do color coding, which I found very helpful. And I'm a very visual person, so I like to see the colors, and the green activities were the money-making activities. And those were, it's much more motivating to do when you see that on your calendar if it's in a color. So that might be one strategy for achieving those daily goals. Does everyone understand what a SMART objective is? Does it make sense to you all?
Good.
Should we give an example, Roberta? What would be a good SMART objective, do you think? What's a good example?
I like the adding 10 people, or even if it's not 10. 10 sometimes sounds big to me. Add 5, add 2. 2 is achievable. 2 people every day, that's 10 people a week. Or 14 every 7 days. Does that seem doable to everyone else?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, and Gary, oh, sorry? Yeah, go ahead. So, yeah, so maybe adding 2 people if adding 10 seems too much, or maybe talking to 5 people every day in the mornings. So the next slide is time blocking. And I think we talked about that a little bit, and we saw that calendar earlier. It wasn't color coded in the green and yellow and red. We also want to make sure, does anyone want to share sort of what kind of calendar system that they use for themselves now? Do you use it on your phone, or do you have a calendar in your, like a real calendar on your wall? Anyone have a system that they like to use specifically?
I have 2 calendars, one for the classes that I'm going to take or that I agreed to want to participate in. That's one calendar, and it's a physical one. I don't like the computer one. I don't know. And the other one is I put on every day a to-do list, and I just put down, I'm going to accomplish these things today, and I just check them off. Add new ones. Let's keep going. So I write everything down.
Yeah, Diana Kokoska talks about this in her maps and coaching classes. She says that if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So it's important that because it doesn't, it's up here a lot of times in our head, but if it's not reality on our calendars, then it's likely to be forgotten or not addressed.
And I don't like to keep it in my head because that takes up valuable space. So I just put everything down in writing so I get it out of my head and just follow the paper.
Nice. Wow, Maureen, she says she uses 3, a physical, a Google, and an Excel sheet.
Oh, wow. I don't depend on technology.
That doesn't mean it always works. Well, I've been working on this. Command looks great, but with the commercial and like my niche that I'm interested in, that manufactured home parts, there's so many details and so many different kinds of buyers that we created an Excel sheet. Then I actually had my daughter's boyfriend help me do data. We set up a data sheet, and we have like different formats. We put it in so the PDF. So it's taken a long time to get it so I could send it in looking decent to clients. And I was listening to the Analyst Pro. So I spent a lot of time on this techie stuff. And but I think the networking, when you show something that's professional and it's analytical, it really helps people start to trust you that you can actually do that and help them. You know, say, oh, do you know what a net operating income? So I think in the long run, setting these big sheets up works. It just takes a long time. So I think I've spent not too much time.
Yeah, that was, I was going to ask you, Maureen, do you find that you, when you write down your goals and share your progress with someone, that it's much more likely to get done? I know I was just going to cite Gary's book, then the one thing, you know, Gail Matthews said that, you know, people who write down their goals are nearly 40% more likely to succeed. Do you find that that's
think
true?
When Susan was in the office, it worked really well, but then she was going back. She's been going to school and so that she's the one that started me. And then my daughter Hannah can help, but I had a very difficult time trying to even format this. I found out from most of the commercial realtors, they make their own Excel sheets up. So it's taken a long time to figure out, and nobody wants to share them because it's sort of proprietary. It's how they keep their clients. And so we created like 3 different kinds. And I just spent the last week doing build out. So I think the commercial aspect is a lot more challenging. I looked at one today, I may pay for it, Analyst Pro. So if I could do that, but I really liked going to the office and I'd meet Susan twice, and then we would do a lot of calls. And so then I got Hannah started, but I think that was my really big challenge, getting somebody to work with, because I'm like you, I'm like visual. And so I needed a techie person. I can do Excel really well, but to be able to pull a PDF up and have a client see it and have them remember, I send them so many properties that are so detailed, they'd forget. They can go to another agent. So I'm the only agent I know that it's taken me a couple of years to cultivate some of these clients. So I think it'll help in the long run, but it's also helped me now. This last week, I'm going back and calling them and I'm saying, I'm the only agent that's going to give you an Excel sheet of what you got. They can't remember, so they just go into other agents. So it's taken me a long time to cultivate it, but I feel like I'm finally getting there. It's just good. So I'd like to use Command. That's the one thing that's interesting, but they don't have it. They just don't have what I need for this. So that's why it's really a challenge to go. I like the part about Command they were showing, but I was just looking at the flyers. And so I was hoping they'd combine them. And I know the commercial side's trying to do something like that, but the flyers are so much more complicated because they show trends that are you're building your own kind of graph, and it's a financial graph of what they can do over 5 years or 4 years. So that's been a struggle, I think, for me, where I get bogged down because I want to get to the one. I may not understand one part, but of the financial analysis, like the basic stuff I know, but some other stuff that I'm trying to study for the class, and then I didn't do the calls. So I know if I do the calls, it works. I just have to, now that I got this sort of set up, I hope so. Now I just have to go back. I'm getting there. But I like listening to you guys because what they said on Analyst Pro, and I thought you all might like to look at it. They have it's for residential and commercial, and residential people that do multi-units might like it. They again said, it's good to have a financial analysis for commercial, but you still need the pretty pictures and you need to do a lot of the same kinds of marketing. So I would thought maybe one day next month or something, we could have them do a demo for us. I think you'd all like it.
Okay, but that's not necessarily a calendaring software. It's an analysis software, correct?
The one I made is to keep track of all the buyers. I have a call list that I created. Okay. Then I have like my mobile home park sheets for each area. But to get like my listing up today to do the analysis, they have you send out, instead of just going to a buyer, you pick a property that you want to show them and you market it under your name. They have a way to do the analysis. So you can do due diligence, maybe more than the listing agent, or if it's not listed, a property that's sitting there. You go in and do all your analysis, and it can be 5, 10, 50 pages, and it will show it. So if you go to a listing presentation, you look super professional. And so it's really interesting. I think you'd all be interested in it because it could be for anybody that sells a multi-unit. It shows the demographics, if they bought it, what you would make your return in 5 years. And I liked it.
Well, you're welcome to send me an email. This is a little bit off topic, just saying
sorry.
Calendaring. It's okay. That's more of an analysis side, and we're kind of really wanting to focus. I was just curious if you found that calendaring was helping your business.
I think it's getting there.
The next slide is, again, just more about time blocking. I'm just thinking of the time that we have now. And Mark, can you go to the next slide? Well, yes. So now, in terms of, so we want to grow our business, and Maureen, it seems like you're working on growing your business and keeping track of everyone in an Excel, as well as this other analytical software. And let me just go back to my slide here. Yeah, and then we need to create some accountability. So if it's on our calendar and we want to make sure that we're talking, and we're going to go back to the calendaring piece, and if it's on our calendar, we're more likely to succeed. And at least Maureen is you know, reporting out that she's had some more success because it's on a calendar, and she has some other access to other analytical tools, that if we write down our goals and share our progress. So I want to kind of evolve into this accountability piece. We need to create accountability, and I'm not sure, I want to sort of ask maybe for maybe 1 or 2 comments about accountability. Does anyone have an accountability partner? Or because we're going to go through the accountability cycle that will maximize our success, and that's the slide that Mark has up right now. Does anyone have an accountability partner right now who's on the call?
Nope.
Well, I'll share.
Sure.
It's not exactly an accountability partner, but I am seeing the benefits of having some form of accountability. For example, I have a script practice team, I guess, that we were meeting 3 times a week at 9 a.m. And what I found was on those days of script practice, I would be up, awake, motivated, prepared to sit down at my laptop by 9 a.m. On the days I did not have script practice, I would find, I guess the correct term would be excuses, but roadblocks or hurdles, or I would allow myself to talk myself into, I tossed and turned last night, my insomnia was terrible, I'm going to just take that extra hour in the morning and get a little more sleep, kind of talking myself out of it. So just having someone waiting on me, expecting me, was holding me accountable to get up and get started, but it also motivated me. It also gave me a sense of energy, I guess.
Yeah, it's neat that you say that placement of that particular session of script practice was the sort of internal motivator. It was an external motivation, an external appointment, but it's sort of a cycle. You set your goal, you set your plan to be on that call, and then you got up and you're like, I have to be there. So you do the activities, and then you can measure your results based on those activities when you meet them. Kenny, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm on the Peterson Realty team over here at Santa Clara Valley, and then on our team we've also have Mark as our productivity coach, and he's been also amazing just to be able to get some more insight, to be sharing, our daily activities, and also to be having somebody that could be there to help answer any questions. And plus the years of knowledge, and also him being a broker, it's a 1-2 punch of experience. And I had called him several times regarding a few of the transactions I was involved with, just to at least share and get ideas, and to be able to get valuable feedback to help me, was extremely valuable.
Yeah, so he's sort of like your, he's your built-in accountability partner.
Yeah,
but I think you all have pretty good accountability within your group too, from what I remember and know of your group. So that's really good too. Yeah, because it's a tool, right? It's a tool. It's a motivator for achieving our results, and it's not just something that's static. It's sort of, it feeds you, it motivates you, and you just continue. You make adjustments, you evaluate, you make adjustments, and it's a continuous cycle that keeps you going. So. Yeah,
and to touch on the same vein as Melissa was saying, we're in that same group of script practice. So, I can totally relate to when she says that when we do start our sessions, we're also bringing our best to the table, knowing that we're practicing on our colleagues so that we don't really fumble and mess up in front of our clients.
Nice. Yeah. Perfect.
I would like to participate in script practice.
Okay. So we can get you some information, Sheila.
Yeah.
About the groups and things after the class, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to share one other thing on accountability.
Sure.
That I actually kind of just had a realization last night. I have been using the 66-day, the one thing. It's not exactly a calendar, but it looks like a calendar. It's 66 days of whatever the habit is that you're trying to create. And my habit that I'm working on currently has been an exercise routine. And yesterday the time kind of got away from me, and I completely slipped my mind, but I have it posted on my wall right next to my bed. And when I came to bed that evening to start getting things ready, I get ready for bed ahead of time so that when it's bedtime I can just go to bed. And I saw it on the wall and realized that I was in danger of breaking the chain. And I only have a couple of weeks left on the calendar, and it was so motivating. It was, oh my gosh, I need to drop everything I'm doing and get in my, I think my thing last night was 21 sit-ups. And so that piece of paper and the promise to myself was what held me accountable to that, to creating that habit.
Yeah, that's similar to what Kenny just mentioned, right? You have this, you want to bring your best, and it's kind of going on along with the next slide as well about accountability and like to sharing your goals. So you all share within that script practice. You want to bring your best to that group at that time. And when you share it with something, it makes it a little bit more real, right? And then there is much more sort of self-accountability, and then you don't want to mess up. And then you're adding this, Melissa, what did you say? Did you add it to your calendar?
It's a 66-day, let me look at it.
But you said that you had put it on for like whatever. Did you miss it the night before or something?
No, I just hung it on my wall, and it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes a day. And I kept it small enough to where I couldn't use time as an excuse. And about a half an hour before my relax time, I noticed that I hadn't done it for the day. I didn't set a time or block it out in the calendar. It was just a get it in at some point in the day when you can. And I have not broke the chain. So that was kind of what held me accountable, is looking at, I put little hearts on it as my tracker. And I saw that my yesterday's heart was missing. And I did battle with myself for a second of, oh, it's just one day. But then the other part of me and this habit that I've been building for weeks kind of took over and said, no, do you really want that one blank spot? Do you really want to break that chain of hearts? And so I just dropped down to the ground and did it right then and there. Good.
And do you think adding that to your calendar would help you? That way you see it and maybe share it with someone else, like, okay, I'm joining this group and I'm going to be accountable. I know there's a lot of Facebook groups out there too, and that helps you stay accountable. It's actually interesting and quite creative now that we can get into these Facebook groups and add some accountability to our own lives in terms of, okay, I'm going to agree to do this for 66 days, like you said, and you have your little postie, and it makes a big difference that you have this sort of sphere of people you can share. Yep, I completed it today. I had done something a while ago. It was making art. It was many months ago before COVID, making art and finding art outside. And every day we posted for 12 weeks. We posted something that we made from nature, and we post a picture on there of some sort of design. And it was a nice motivator. It was an interesting motivator to be accountable to that group, because we do want to show up, and we do want to show up well.
Accountability, guys, it's a psychological trick, and it works really, really effectively. And here's how it works. You tell people what you want to do, what you intend to do. You tell them, hey, look, I intend to call 10 people today. And tomorrow, you're going to have to explain yourself to that accountability person to say, hey, I made those 10 calls, or I didn't make those 10 calls. Now, you can try to hold yourself accountable, but I'm going to tell you that you're really too easy on yourself, always too easy on yourself, and you're going to let things slide because you don't want to punish yourself, because it's counterintuitive to what we do. However, when we know that we have to share what we're supposed to do with someone else, the thought and the embarrassment of coming up short will drive you to make the extra efforts needed to achieve the goals you set for yourself. Because when you're holding yourself accountable to, let's say, meeting 5 people, and you've met 3, for yourself, it could be good enough. But if tomorrow you had to report to Roberta, She's going to ask you what happened to the last two. You wouldn't ask yourself that, but she will.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when you get your third and you're feeling tired, you know you have to do two more because you have to tell somebody else. You'll be more prone to get on the phone and do it and make it happen because you want to come with good news to your accountability partners.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make good impressions. We know intuitively, they don't have to tell us. We know that if we fall short, they'll think less of us. It just is what it is. It's not intentional. It's just how it happens. And we don't want others to feel less or think less of us. So we're going to do what we say. That's accountability. And that is really, it's been measured through BOLD. The results, the people that hold themselves accountable, the results are exponentially greater.
Mm-hmm.
Exponentially greater. Just is what it is.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, can we go on to the next one? And so now we're going to just move to some, let me go. I'm sorry, Mark, can you go back to the last one? I'm so sorry. Yeah, and it's nice to, if you choose an accountability partner, I was going to have us break up into breakout rooms and just randomly sort of talk about, things that you need as an accountability partner, and maybe you would want to make a new accountability partner somehow. And I think Jacqueline's on the line there, but I'm not sure if we can have time to do that. And we can probably take the last 15 minutes to do some script practice. I do what I say and do hold others. Oh, I'm sorry, I was reading from Sheila. My business, I set goal for myself. Yeah, I know. I hear you, Sheila, wanting to practice scripts, and you want to participate in script practice, and also hold others accountable as well as yourself. So, yeah, can we make out a little breakout room and maybe just get acquainted with a couple of people within the Market Center and talk about ways that work for you? Like, how often do you need to check in? And then what way of communication would be ideal for you to set an accountability practice, and when you would want to meet and how would you want to meet? Could we just break out? Would that be interesting for everyone? If it's not, just speak up and say, no, let's move on. I feel like it would be nice to kind of get into a small group and meet someone and learn about how we can keep each other accountable. You may find someone that really works with you and you want to work with them and continue to keep ourselves accountable. Would that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, I like it.
Okay. Perfect.
I don't know about others. I want it.
Alice says yes. We have 15 people on the call. Hi, Alice. I see you there. Anyone else opposed to this? Yeah, so let's just take maybe 5 minutes. We'll go to 10:40. Jacqueline, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and just maybe put maybe just two people in a group. That would make 7 groups.
Okay, 7 groups.
Yeah. Might be one odd one in, but that's, yeah, 2. That'd be great. Thanks for all your all's assistance on the backside of this. So we'll just take 5 minutes and maybe explore what, while she's setting that up, explore what you would need to be held accountable. What would work for you and in what ways to keep you accountable, to keep you going, keeping the gas in the tank.
So who's going to break us? Are we going to?
Jacqueline's setting up
All
the
right. I'm gonna
Okay.
break you guys up right now.
Roberta, go ahead. Having the skills to do the goals is where I'm at. I'm very accountable. So
Sure.
fine. It's fine. I'm very accountable and I hold others accountable. So that's not the issue.
Okay.
It's the skills, like that script, like the words of how to get it by a broker. I mean, all the details that I negotiate. I can.
Sure.
I have
So
listed.
Sheila, there's a book in the, I think Jacqueline's going to get you the access to the file sharing portion of the website, the intranet, and there's a book there with scripts.
That's it.
And then that you can use that in script practice. I can also get you, I have a huge book, a 300-page book of scripts
I like it.
from MAPS coaching. So I can
And
certainly
Sheila,
get that for you.
I already sent you the email, okay? And I
Oh,
sent it to you I think yesterday as well, but I just followed up in the same email chain and responded again so you could see that link, okay? The link has everything in there.
okay, I'll confirm it. I'll confirm when I receive it. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Jackie.
And
No
Sheila,
problem.
did you see the breakout room that you would
Yeah.
join? Okay, you can join now. Just a couple minutes.
And Roberta, oh, shoot. Mimi, Philip, are you guys there? Hey, Roberta, just go ahead and, oh, I think you're muted, but text me if you need me to broadcast any message to anybody or if you need me to bring everyone back, okay? Because I don't think I'll be able to message you if I'm not in a chat box. I'm going to stay on this main page.
Yeah, I'm going to stay here. Mimi, are you okay not going into the chat room or just to the breakout room?
I don't think she's been responding, so I
Okay.
don't know if she's at her phone. So I think it works out.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll stay here as well.
Okay, cool.
And
so in the future, in the future, if we do this again, or you want to do this for the future, for future reference, when you're the host, you can actually jump into anyone you want as well. So you can almost like pop in. Yeah.
Oh.
That's if I make you complete host.
Okay.
But if I do that, then I won't have access to.
That's fine. That's fine.
But in the future, like if you ever want to do that, yeah, it's a great way for you to pop into each group as well.
Yeah. Because I'm going to have them share when they come out.
Awesome.
What some of the things that they would need for accountability.
Cool.
Yeah. And I want to take them back to some script practice as well. So we'll do this again. And
oh, it seems like Mimi went into the group. And
oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So she's in the group with you though, so she's in there by herself.
Oh no.
Maybe,
hopefully she'll leave it.
I'll maybe move her to Melissa's group because I think that would be good. Melissa's good.
Sure. Yeah. They're in a regular script practice group as well.
There we go. I moved her into Melissa's group, so that'd be good. I know Melissa's very friendly, so she can.
Yeah.
She'll get along with anybody. You just let me know when I need to.
They've only been in there for 2 minutes, yeah.
Maybe like wrap. Let me know when you want to wrap up, and then.
Maybe give them 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes, okay.
Just 2 more minutes. Maybe give them a warning, a 2-minute warning. I love the breakout rooms. I think you get much more. It integrates so much more.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I feel like we definitely should be using this feature a lot more than. Yeah, this is actually the first time we tried it, so.
Oh, really?
Well, I've tested it with Lupita and Olivia, but we never actually got to use it until today, so that's.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because they're not able to access and they're not going to that files. I was really hoping that they would go to the files and get, like before we started, and get the script book.
Yeah.
So we could use the scripts in the breakout room. Because I want them to go back to a breakout room. We only have 19 more minutes. And so
I think this goes till 12. So it's if you need to spend more time, you're more than welcome to. This is oh wait, are you talking about for your part? Because
yes, because I have to go at 11. Yeah, I have to leave at 11. I know we're recording this, but I have to go to 95111 for this house visit. We have to go talk to the owners of the house, and I have to talk to Pearl before that. So yeah, and I'd hate to hand it off to Mark before that. So.
Okay.
I'm really appreciating his input.
Let's start wrapping up. Okay, I sent out the message.
Recording. Okay, now we're recording again. So would love to hear some feedback of how that was. Anyone care to share?
Not enough time.
Okay, that's a general complaint. Yes. I have experienced that many times. Not enough time. I'll give you more time next time.
Actually, I'm really happy to see that it worked really well. We're going to do this more.
It does really work really well. I
Yeah,
love
it is very interesting communicating with someone, sharing experiences.
One-on-one.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Nice, good. Yay, I'm so happy that everyone enjoyed it. And I would love to hear some sort of takeaways from that particular session, as well as what we've talked about now, or up to this point. Mostly about like the differences in like what you need from someone else as an accountability partner. Because I know as myself, as a coach, and I was coached by Diana, and I had my own MAPS coach, she would say, okay, well, sometimes they need, to be fined $100 if they didn't get their contacts, or if they didn't do their 411. I'm just curious, like what you all need in terms of to be accountable with an accountability partner. So anyone cares to share, please jump in. Go ahead, Alice.
I would show to my accountability partner what I'm doing. I think that's the only way I can be accountable. Otherwise, I could find 1,001 excuses not to do it.
And what did you need? You need to show them.
I will show. Yeah, I will show. Let's say if I make a call, I'll take a picture of the call, or if I need to send them emails, then I show them the email. So to show that I really did it. This is basically back to school.
I love it. I love it. Who else? Anyone else?
I think for me, I'm not sure how to word this, but I try to do accountability partner with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, it would work, but it would just take one day of me saying, you know what, screw you, I'm not doing it. and then him saying, you know what, I'm not going to argue with you. You do what you want. So I think it needs to have some kind of a, I think the accountability has to be more than just, I don't know how to put it. You know what I'm saying? Like a team or something, like you're letting someone else down, I guess, if you're not performing. Because it didn't affect, I mean, it does affect him, but it doesn't affect him like a team, like not showing up on time for my script practice and there being 1/4 of the team there, or
right.
Something
there's
like that.
There's a level of knowingness too, and an intimacy level there that you probably don't get from a business, another sort of realtor or another business colleague. It's different. It's a little bit different. So he's probably going to be a little easier on you.
Yes, absolutely. And he's very understanding of the, that, oh, you're extra tired today, take that time, you need to relax too. He does hold me accountable to that, because I will work myself to death if he doesn't make me relax.
So maybe choosing someone who is a little more, I don't want to say intimidating, but someone who is a little more that you respect and that you don't want to let down. That you would be more accountable to them. You don't want to let them down, so you're going to really strive hard to make those calls or get those people in the database or whatever it is that you're wanting to be measured, part of that SMART plan. Anyone else? Just one more, and then we'll move on really quickly because we have only 12 minutes left for my portion of it. And I really wanted to get to a little bit of script practice, and again, another little breakout room, but I don't know if we'll have time to do that today. So anyone else want to share something that they need in their accountability partner? Brian, your sound is off, so I was wondering if you wanted to say something. Oh, there's a couple people too. Anyone else?
Oh,
So do you need $100?
I think it's nice to set a schedule with people, especially me, I'm chatty, but I actually sit and focus and I turn everything off. And when I have to do something, I turn like everything off. So it's nice to have a set time, like you say, okay, we're going to do these 1 or 2 times, and then we're going to have 5 minutes just to discuss life, and then we're going to talk. We're like set on what you're going to talk about. Like, what are you going to work on? I like to work with somebody, I guess. That's my thing. I like to not just do it. I like to set things up with the other person and work a little with them, and then we work on our own, but like around, like keep the screen on. Does anybody do that? Well, I used to be in the same room, but
you
now
keep
it's
the
like,
screen on to keep yourself accountable real time.
yeah.
Okay, so you schedule a strict schedule, and you sort of, somebody's watching you.
Well, that's what I think would
Yeah.
work better.
Okay.
I used to like it in the same room. You know, we could
Right,
meet,
well, yeah.
talk, yeah. But I think I like working with them because what I do involves a little bit of like, what do you think we should do? Sort of brainstorming. And I like it when the other person hears me call somebody. So they can say, oh, well, maybe you may do, what do you think? You know, you try to figure out what that person you're talking to is thinking, and you can brainstorm about that.
Okay, nice. That's a good way. So you kind of feed off of each other. I like it.
What about accountability with a reward system, in a sense?
Yeah, really, it is really a customizable thing. I mean, I know I had an accountability partner when I first started, and we had an agreement that we would call each other at 6:45 in the morning. And that lasted for about 3 days, and then she stopped calling me. So it really make these, you know, this reward and sort of punishment idea can be, but you know, again, it's a mindset. It's really a mindset of who is, you know, yourself as well as the other person. So it can be, you know, we want to kind of avoid pain, and the pain could be being accountable. So we want to perform and make sure that we get our things done. But it's, at the same time, sometimes it's easy to give up on too. So just choosing that right partner is important as well, and really being clear about what it is that you want to achieve with each other and making agreements. I think that's really important. Anybody else?
I also find monetary sacrifice the most accountable I've ever been in real estate is when I paid $800 to go to Bold. I talked to 800 people in 7 weeks because that money was put there, and it really held me accountable. I'm not going to let that money go to waste.
Yeah. So let's transition from that. Alice, I like your idea. I just noticed it in the chat. Create a Zoom room where everybody can see each other making a call. So I'm not sure if that's what you do, Mark, when you go to the lead gen portion. Do you all stay in the same room and you all start making calls?
No, I've been letting people go. Do that on their own.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice accountability. It's a very creative accountability mechanism too.
But we've also had some limitations with our Zooms, but now those limitations are gone. We can do the breakout rooms, so we can do some script practice. And if you guys want that group lead gen, be sure to sign up for it. So that way I know how many people want to stay or how many people, you know, to expect, and we can tailor those.
Yeah.
When would be?
Go ahead, Sheila.
Lead gen, when is the next one?
We're supposed to start it in 8 minutes. That's a 2-hour session. And I'm okay to go over for a few minutes, but I do have to go to the house to see this, to get this listing signed. Well, we have to look at the house. They're going to sign it via Zoom or via e-sign, but I do have to go to this other property. But I think, Mark, I
tried to do this yesterday and I didn't succeed. So what do I do? Just don't leave the meeting and just continue on?
Yeah, just stay on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So up until now, I mean, is there anyone who'd like to share some ahas or some sort of insights or takeaways? Because we're going to start wrapping this up. I know we wanted to get to some calendaring, but I think, you know, it's a daily process. It's creating habits, building your database, practicing scripts, lead generating, you know, and that sort of thing. And then, you know, we can practice scripts like we mentioned, but I was just curious if there was anything else that anyone had, some insights or something to share that they've learned today in this particular session.
I think the green coding It's so important because you can learn visually from just, it's just like Pavlov's dog. You see the green, you know you have to go there. I like it.
Yeah, it just another thing occurred to me. I remember seeing at family or hearing at family reunion about an agent who had a jar on her desk, and she would put like $1 for every or $10 for every contact that she didn't make, and that was her savings, or she would end up donating it to a particular cause. So she was keeping herself accountable by putting money in a jar on her desk for things that she didn't get done. So just that one just popped into my head when you said green, Sheila. It was like, oh yeah, green going into the jar, and that's another way. But I like it that you took away the green calendaring piece, so you can actually structure your calendar so that it looks, your green activities are your money making activities, and the other colors are other types of activity. Anything else? Yeah. Well, I'm super excited that you liked the breakout rooms. It's such an amazing way that we can become creative and learning. I find that those rooms help us integrate and sort of remember. I was going to send you off into breakout rooms again to do some script practice. And I was told that everyone had access to the script book that was on the file share. So we only have another 5 minutes, at least for myself. And then we can just decide what you want to do right now. If you'd like to try going out there, I can get some scripts and post it in the chat. I wanted us to go through setting a buyer appointment, because I think that's, closing that buyer appointment is really important. So, and because that's part of the gas for our car. So would that be okay if I put that out there and then sent you off into breakout rooms to practice? So you spend 5 minutes internalizing the script, and then you get it until you know it, and then you practice it on the other person.
Perfect.
Let me pop over here for just a second. I don't think it's going to let me copy. Oh, let's see. Well, we're not shaking hands now because it says this. Let's see if it'll let me copy and paste. This is asking for the business or an exclusive. Oh, that's not it either.
We could practice Ford.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted. Look, we could do that.
Go ahead. That's fine. That's perfect. The found on road dead. No, I'm just teasing.
Fix the repair daily.
Yeah.
Fix the repair daily.
My dad always told me found on the road dead.
That works.
Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams is what Ford stands for. If anyone is unfamiliar with the Ford principle, and I will put it in the chat, Ford, family, occupation. So yeah, so go through the just discussing this. So say you're door knocking or you're cold calling someone, practicing this script. I don't know, Mark, do you want to just kind of take that off with this one and explain?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do that. You guys, we've talked about Ford for the past week and a half at least once. So we do know what Ford is. I think the best thing to do is just let's get into it and practice, right? We can use the breakout rooms, and let's try to break out into groups of 3. And when we do the practice, we should have one person that's going to be delivering the script, one person that's going to be the role play partner playing the consumer side, and then the third person will observe. And when you're observing, kind of take note of how the person that's delivering the script is delivering, their tonality, and see if they're able to make it through the script and get through a close, provide some feedback, and then switch, right? So then the person that was the person that gave the that delivered the script then will become the person that observes, and the observer will become the person that is the script partner, and then the person that was a script partner before will then switch and be the script deliverer. Does that sound clear? I hope.
Jacqueline, did you get that? So there'll be groups of 3? She said she was going to go away.
Sorry, what
first.
was that? I missed
Oh.
that. Sorry.
Can you set up the breakout rooms for groups of 3?
Of course. Let me go ahead and do that. We have
And Mark, do you know about how long? Maybe
15 minutes.
15 minutes. That's 3. That's 5 minutes each person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really grateful. I'm going to jump off myself. I'm
Thank you,
super
Roberta.
grateful for joining us. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you, Sheila. I'll talk to you soon. Absolutely.
Thank you, Roberta.
Excellent.
Thank you, Roberta.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Enjoy your breakout rooms, and I hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Roberta.
Okay. See you.
Okay, they are all now all open. We have most 3s except one group of 2. It's gonna be Melissa and Kenny.
Oh, Jackie, can you make me the floater?
Okay, I want to make you. That means I'm gonna
Or make
you
me the host?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then can you please make me co-host after?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we have Diana. We're going to move Diana to breakout room 4. All right.
Me to hit, am I supposed to hit join now?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to be in with Sham and Sheila. Teresa and Grace, join your breakout rooms, please. You'll be joining Alice for script practice. Grace, there goes Grace. Teresa. Teresa must have stepped away.
Did you make me co-host yet?
Not yet. Let's make you co-host.
Okay. I could,
How do I make you co-host?
you're gonna go right next to my name, and it should say like mute, and then there's another one, and I think it says options or something. And then there's a bunch of options on what you can do next. If you scroll over my name on the participants list, there should be 2 blue buttons.
There's a mute all, invite, and a ...
That's okay. I'm just gonna stay on the screen. You can go ahead and jump in and jump out of those breakout rooms.
Okay.
Do you know how to get there?
I think I'm going to hit the join button.
Okay. Yeah, you can join whichever one you want. Okay.
Thank you.
Right, but I'm gonna step away from my desk real quick.
Thank you, Jackie.
They're just taller. Hi, Alan. Are you trying to print? Oh, okay. That's weird.
I'm going to ask you about.
I don't know.
Hey, there you are. Good. I have a transaction I want to start giving you. Okay. Okay. I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay, I'm going to use my own. How do I need to carry this? Only if I come in without anybody being here, right?
Yeah, so anytime outside of office hours. Anytime outside of office hours.
Got it.
Yeah.
I will know better.
For the most part, like when you're here, like as long as I'm only here on the weekend. I mean, I'm not here on the weekends.
Another person back here?
No, this office is technically closed on the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So
you can come in and use
yeah,
it,
but you
right?
can come in and do what you need to do if you have to. But it's just office. The staff is not here and available for everyone.
Already?
I know. Halfway through the month. Halfway through the month. Dan. Let me scan this first and then I'll. This one is in Eduardo or Jim, Jessica, Janet, Edith. Oh, it's like 2238 Portal Way. Here, I'll just give this to you now. Hi, Stacy. I heard. You don't have to be that mad. I mean, yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. That's crazy because like that doesn't happen often when I know it's crazy. Okay, well that's fine. I'll just reschedule the reservation. I'll just push it back. Well, I'll just make an appointment next week. Um,
Oh,
Welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
Did all the rooms get automatically closed or did they still count the countdown and everyone just came through?
I think it goes a 1 minute countdown and then it just comes back. Mark, can you make me co-host, please?
Let's see what we can do. You're back in control, Miss Jacqueline.
Thank you.
You're welcome, welcome. How'd that work, guys? How'd it go?
Helpful.
Yeah?
Very helpful.
yeah,
Really
it
good.
was good.
Everyone got at least one turn to deliver their script?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Does there have any concerns or ahas about their scripts that they'd like help with?
I don't know how to ask other than what you suggested, which was make sure that at the end of this really warm, touching conversation, you say, Marwan, I've been taking this crazy class that I have to talk to one new person. Can you refer anyone to me? Does that sound too bold?
No.
That's
No.
a bold script.
Sounds reasonable to me.
Doesn't sound bold.
It is bold.
It is bold.
What does the quote say? Something favors the bold, right? Fortune favors the bold?
Oh, is that it?
Isn't that what it says? Fortune favors the bold?
I don't know, because I can be bold in everything, but when it comes to business, I'm not bold. I
You'll
feel
be
like I'm pushing.
No, it's good.
I
It's
can
okay to
say it.
push.
I have no
You know what?
problem.
People need a push. It's okay. People need a push
People
sometimes.
need a push. Yeah, I have to
Need a
remember
push.
that. People need a push. That makes sense. I could see it from that point. My students need pushes all the time.
That's it.
I have no problem with pushing them. People need a push.
So tomorrow, Bob and I are going to go over kind of market center specifics. I don't think that class itself is going to be very long. It's probably going to be very, very short. But the good news on that is there's going to be a lot more time tomorrow to do more script practice and lead generation. So our class, I can almost assure you it's not going to go for an hour. I'll be surprised if it even goes for 30 minutes, because we're just talking about where you can, what resources are available to you in the market center and where you can go to get help, and just kind of how what market center the role can play in your business. And I think that's pretty much that for tomorrow. But that'll give us more time to do more script practice. Guys, think about if when you make your actual calls today, hopefully you're inspired to do that and share some wins with us tomorrow.
I'm going to call Marwan.
I want to hear about people making appointments and growing their database tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
Are we good? Do we want to have me as an accountability partner for the next 24 hours?
Yes.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Yes.
And everyone's going to share at least one story.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to make 2 calls.
Awesome.
2 good calls. 2 good people who are going to refer me names for sure.
Absolutely. So you're going to tell us about it tomorrow.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not going to be on the call.
You'll be on the call.
You'll
be on the call. So yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow and hearing about everyone's success, and I'll share with you my success too, because I got to make my calls.
Sham has to call too. She doesn't want to call. Tell Sham she's going to have to be on with her picture. She didn't want to even take a picture.
And guys, if you're shy about calling, you really, really don't want to pick up the phone, then open up your Facebook Messenger and message 10 people. And see if they'll see if that can incite a dialogue. The most important thing is you kind of go a little two-way, right? Say hi, ask to connect, see what people have been up to. Hopefully they'll ask you what you've been up to, and then you'll tell them what you want.
That's a good one.
There's something else with Facebook message that I realized. If you are direct